Jill from Gilbert's Bits of Bites here. Today I'm going to show you my filigree maker action. And before we get started, I just wanted to give a big thank you to Steph Berry. This was her idea, and she asked me to see if I could make something like this. And we worked very closely together. And naturally, she ended up getting it free because she came up with the idea. So thanks, Steph, and let's get going. So this particular action comes with not only the action itself, but I also give you the patterns, and I give you, just a sampling of styles. So there's 5 patterns and 4 styles. I'm sorry, 8 styles, and just metal, simple metal ones. You can use any of the styles you want. You don't have to use mine, but I just threw them in for good measure. Okay, so I'm not going to tell you how to install all this stuff. The instructions are included in the folder with the action when you purchase it. So let's get started. Now we're first of all going to set up the document. And I do this on 12 by 12 like a scrapbook page. That way I can tell what the proportions are for the particular element I'm making. So let's just say I have a pattern I want to, I'm sorry, not a pattern, but an object I want to use. The filigree maker, this works on any object as long as it has a transparent background. And typically that's like a ping file. I imagine you could do it with a GIF file if you really wanted to, but I'm using a ping. So I'm going to do this for a guitar. We're going to have a filigree guitar here. So I'm going to commit it. And that's really all the setup document does for you. Get you going. So the next thing you're going to do is create the filigree. And of course I warn you, if you don't have it there, don't have something open, run it. Don't continue. We're continuing. The first step here, what I do is I'm going to make, a border around the outside of it, like a framework. Now this next one will create the pattern fill. And there we go. You can see it over here. You can see this little thing here. And I don't particularly want to use that pattern. Let's go over here to this pattern here. And it's kind of, as it is, big for the guitar. So you can sit and you can adjust this to what you want. And as long as you have this particular dialog, this pattern fill dialog open, you can sit here and you can move this thing around, to adjust it. Okay. And so you can see what it is here. I'm going to show you something though. So as soon as I click OK, it's going to continue on. And what it does, although it looks like it's black here, it's now rasterized it, so I can't get to that little dialog box, but it doesn't matter at this point, but keep that in mind for when I show you the second one. So we say continue, and this is where, you're done. You've got 2 layers. You've got the frame, and then you've got the pattern. I did it this way because if you have the frame and the pattern and they're all in one layer, the way the styles apply, it looks kind of weird. So I'm ready to put my styles on. Let's go with this gold. I want a gold filigree guitar. Okay, so there you see it. Now I can either come back into the action and click continue. All it's going to do for you is just save it out. I do not flatten this because you might want to save it as source. I know I do. That's what I do. I save my source. I save things on layers. In fact, I probably would have kept it non-rasterized. Who knows? I'm strange sometimes. So after you save out your ping file, you can then save this as a TIFF or a PSD and keep it just in case you want to make a change later on. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to clear the layer styles on these and show you what I meant by why I don't merge these two. See, I'm going to merge them now. So now they're all on one layer, and if I put the style on it, well, it's just, you don't see it so much here now. Make a liar out of me. But there are times to where around the edges it just doesn't look that good. In fact, I really like the look of the as a frame rather than it being all one piece. That's up to you. It's your own preference. If you don't like it the way I did it for you, you can go back and merge them and put a new style on it. Anyway, we're done with that. Sorry for the raspy voice. Winter, yeah, most people have allergies during the summer and spring. Mine is always seems to be in the winter. Okay, now we're going to go back and start over again. And I'm going to set up the document, get my 12 by 12. Now, I don't have a file. I don't want to use a file. In fact, I probably didn't even have to do the setup document. I could have created my own document. That's up to you. But as you can see, I've stopped it. I don't have that anymore. But what I am going to do is come over here, and you see I have my object window open, or custom styles as they call them in Photoshop. Or not, I'm sorry, jeez, muddled head. Custom shapes. So I'm going to transform this. I'm going to make it bigger. I like bigger butterflies. Okay, I've done that. Now I don't have to go back to the setup document. I've got my document set up. I'm going to create my filigree. Now you can use other people's patterns if you wish. The one thing you have to keep in mind is that the pattern needs to have a transparent background, because if it doesn't, then what's inside the butterfly will end up solid, because it can't differentiate what's transparent and what isn't unless it's transparent. So I'm using up and down arrows to play with this scale. Not sure if this always works for everybody. I'm on a Mac. Sometimes things that work on a Mac don't work on a PC and vice versa. Okay, so I think I'm going to leave it there. And I'm going to say okay. Now this, as you say, I wanted you to remember, it rasterized my pattern over here. You see this? So the reason for that is that if I look at this and I go, oh darn, I forgot something. I kind of wanted to rotate it. Excuse me. I'm going to hit stop, because since I can't get back to that little pattern fill dialog that was up here, I really can't adjust it unless I come down here, and I set you up so you can. Let's look at this. I'm going to say adjust filigree. It tells you it's going to let you adjust it further. Now, what I did is I unlinked my layer mask from the layer. So if you look, it's not going to do it because I have this going. Oh, you pill. Let's start back up here. Okay. So let's pretend I didn't do the adjust filigree yet. So as you can see here, there's that little link. They're linked up. When I come in here to the adjust filigree, I unlink it for you, and I have no clue why it's starting to rotate already. It didn't do that when I was testing it. But anyway, I unlink it because I don't want the mask to move. I want that mask to be right where I wanted it. What I want to do is just play with the pattern. And I can't tell you, it was years. I didn't know you could do this. I don't know when I discovered it. It was just, it wasn't very long ago. And I have gone crazy since. Whoops. Didn't like my result. So if you accidentally accept it, just do another transform. So let's say I'm just rotating. And I say okay. Now, I don't really hook it back up for you. Just keep in mind if you decide to quit now that it's not linked in. So what I'm going to do is, what I did was, so that you don't have to go back into the create filigree and figure out where you left off, I've actually just copied all the steps that came after that last stop and put it in here. So all you have to do is, oh, it transformed it again for me. Okay, so it goes through, and basically this is where we were at the other one, when it was down to 2 layers, and that you can put your effects in on it. never seem to be able to get that second one done. So there you go. There's a second one. So as I mentioned, let's close this out. I don't have to use the start one. This is my page here, my 12 by 12 in the actions. Anything that's not doesn't have a transparent background. Let's see if I can. Oh, like I said, you can use other patterns. I'm sorry. Okay. So I've created this. I'm going to do my filigree. I don't even smoke. I shouldn't sound like this. Okay, so I'm going to go up. There's a lot of these things that come with Photoshop. And let's see. Oh yeah, there we go. That'll be good. That'll really get your eyes going. So I have this pattern, and I it could be transparent. Well, one way to check is to turn your background off. Zoom way in, and whoops, as you can see, it's not transparent. And so what will happen as we continue on is that when I go to put my styles on, I get one big blob. And so that's, if you even have a file that you want to use to bring in and put a pattern on, you're going to see the same thing. If it's not transparent, you're going to get a blob. Just my warning. Anyway, that's it for the action. We actually do have over in the studio in the forum there, under my designer name, we have a thread going where we're kind of sharing ideas, patterns, what have you, just showing things off if you want to. And if you have questions, go on over there. I don't actually have a direct link for it, but you can find it. If you have any further questions, you can email me at info@gilbert.org, or just go on to my blog, bitsofbytes.gilbert.org, and use the contact form to get in touch with me. I'd be happy to help you out. That's it for today. Got to save my voice. Talk to you later. Bye.